Today we're upgrading this Toyota 4Runner with a Stinger HEIGH10. This plug-and-play kit is compatible with 2010 to 2023 Toyota 4Runner. It adds Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, Bluetooth hands-free calling and audio streaming, a beautiful 10-inch HD touchscreen, and 4 camera inputs, all while retaining your vehicle's factory features, including steering wheel controls, JBL sound system, and backup camera if equipped. Sit back, buckle up, and watch as we upgrade this Toyota with a Stinger HEIGH10. Hi there, I'm Eric Leclerc from Amp Global. I'm going to walk you through this installation process. So grab your tools and let's get started. Begin the installation by using a pry tool to carefully remove the right and left side trim panels around the climate control knobs. We recommend prying at the bottom of the panel while pulling the trim panel away from the dash. With those panels removed, we can now remove the climate control assembly by reaching around the back of both knobs and pulling the whole assembly toward you. Disconnect the harness and the fastener on the back of this panel. Use pliers to squeeze or a flat blade screwdriver to press on the latch tabs of the fastener so that you can release it from the climate control assembly. Now we can remove the 4 10mm bolts that secure the factory radio into the dash of the vehicle. Now grab the radio and air vent assembly and pull it out of the dash. There are 6 clips securing it into the dash. Disconnect the harnesses that are connected to the vehicle. Some harnesses are connected between radio components and they do not need to be disconnected. Press in on the latch tabs, then pull the connectors away from the radio to disconnect them. Place the factory radio assembly face down on a soft surface so we can work on it without damaging anything. Using a number 1 Phillips screwdriver, remove the 2 small screws at the top edge of the assembly, near the top yellow clips. Removing this trim panel allows us to easily access the clips around the air vents. Using a flathead screwdriver to release the clips, work your way around the air vent. Keep pressure on the air vent by pulling backward on the vent as you release the clips. Work your way around the air vent, unclipping them until the air vent comes out completely. There are 2 clips on each side, and 1 on the top and 1 on the bottom. Repeat this process to remove the other air vent. Now disconnect the harness on the back of the hazard switch. Then pinch the tabs on the top and bottom sides of the hazard switch and press it forward to remove it. Using a small flat blade screwdriver or a pick tool, release the white latch tab on the end of the hazard switch harness. Once the latch is lifted, we can remove the harness from the metal post on the back of the radio. Use pliers to squeeze or a flat blade screwdriver to press on the latch tabs on the fastener to release it from the side of the radio. Locate the correct hazard switch housing included with the kit. One of the patterns in the center of the housing will match the key shape on your hazard switch. Remove the protective film from the front of the switch housing and snap the switch into place. Then snap the whole hazard switch assembly into the front of the main frame. Notice the OEM air vents are marked LH for left hand, the driver's side, and RH for right hand, the passenger side. This will help you ensure to install them into the correct locations. Flip the main frame over onto the soft surface and snap the air vents into their locations. They should snap right into place if you align the control on the end with the rectangular slot on the side. Align the bottom edge of the display bucket with the bottom edge of the main frame. There are 3 screw holes at the bottom edge of the front of the bucket. Insert 3 of the M 3.5x10 screws into these locations. Then, flip the assembly over and install 4 more of these screws in the 4 locations at the top of the bucket, just below the air vents. Now place the HEIGH10 display into the display bucket. Hold the display securely as you rotate the whole assembly over onto the soft surface. Then install 4 of the M 4x12 Phillips screws onto the back of the display to secure it into the assembly. Using a pick tool or a flat blade screwdriver, carefully remove the 6 clips from the OEM radio. Pry up one side of the clip, then while holding it up, pry up the other side of the clip to remove it from the post. Install these 6 clips onto the new radio assembly. Yellow clips at the top and the bottom, and the white clips in the middle. Connect the 2 display cables into the back of the display. Now we can assemble the HEIGH10 module. Notice that the mounting brackets are marked LH and RH. Align these holes on the left-hand bracket marked LH on the left-hand side of the HEIGH10 module Install 2 of the M5x10 screws to secure the bracket to the module. Then repeat this process on the right-hand side with the right-hand bracket. Secure the radio replacement module to the module bracket using 4 of the supplied zip ties. Pass them through the mounting tabs on the end of the module, then 2 more on the other end. Snip the excess of the zip ties when all 4 are tight. Plug in the 4 connectors for the radio replacement module. The power harness, the 20-pin connector. Plug into the second to last port if your 4Runner does not have a factory JBL sound system. Plug into the end port if it does have a JBL sound system. This 4Runner is amplified, so we're using the end port. Be sure to connect the 24-pin connector by routing it up here and turning the connector around like this. Ensure all the dip switches are set to the correct configuration before moving on, as this will affect functionality. If they're not all off, turn all the dip switches off by moving them to the up position. Then toggle dip switch number 3 down to the on position. Now we can secure the module bracket assembly to the HEIGH10 module. Using 2 of the number 10 by 3/8 inch truss head Phillips screws for each side, carefully pass the screw through the side bracket into the receiver on the module bracket. Start threading the screw into the bracket, then lift the module bracket so the screw passes under the bracket into the plastic receiver. Repeat this on the back side of the module bracket. Then do this on the opposite side, for a total of 4 mounting screws. Notice this 4-pin harness labeled Analog Nav Signals. When we perform our functionality test, if the steering wheel controls do not operate the HEIGH10, then follow these steps. Disconnect the 4-pin connectors on the harness, then reconnect the male plug into the harness labeled Analog Nav Signals. Plug in the steering wheel control harness. The HEIGH10 power harness. Locate the red and white RCA cables labeled aux in, and connect the red and white RCA connectors on the vehicle harness labeled aux audio. If you have an OEM backup camera, locate the RCA input with the yellow jacket, labeled reverse camera in. Plug in the yellow RCA connector from the main harness labeled OEM camera. Locate the 2 pink wires labeled speed sense. These are bulleted so they connect together easily. Connect these 2 pink wires together. Then plug in the 10-pin harness. If you're installing the optional external microphone, be sure to connect the harness with the input labeled mic. If you're connecting Sirius XM, the tuner connects into the end of this cable, and the other end just plugs into the HEIGH10 module here. This port can also be used to control Stinger and Lighten dynamic LED lighting solutions. Those cables and lights are sold separately. Connect the 24-pin AV harness under the black power connector. There are 2 blue wires. One has a white stripe labeled Amp Turn On. This is for turning on an aftermarket amplifier, if equipped. Take the solid blue wire labeled Power Antenna and connect the bullet on the end to the bullet on the end of the blue wire on the antenna adapter. Now plug the antenna adapter into the wired receiver on the back of the module. The kit includes a 4Runner adapter for the original GPS antenna, so we can utilize the Toyota GPS antenna for the HEIGH10. If your 4Runner does not have a factory GPS antenna, then install the supplied antenna with the kit. There are 2 USB adapters included in the kit. One will fit the OEM connector in the vehicle. Find the one that fits your vehicle and plug it into the top port on the back of the HEIGH10, the one closest to the top of the chassis. This is the port that supports CarPlay and Android Auto. Align this whole assembly with the 4 holes in the back of the main frame. Install 4 of the number 10 by 3/8 inch truss head Phillips screws, 2 on each side. Connect the 2 display cables into the HEIGH10 module. Plug the OEM hazard harness into the back of the hazard switch. If you choose to mount the external microphone, slide it onto one of the supplied mounting brackets. Then carefully tuck the cable into the trim panel on the A-pillar. Tuck the wire behind the weather stripping and follow it down the A-pillar. Pull the plastic knee bolster panel forward so the mic cable can pass into the dash. Then, using a long zip tie, tape the end of the cable to the zip tie and pass the connector up to the radio opening. Reinstall the knee bolster once you have the cable routed behind the panel. Depending on the year of your 4Runner and the OEM features, there may be an adapter harness or 2 needed. This kit has several adapters that you will not use during your installation. You can simply try and connect your harnesses and see which ones connect easily. Some that are left unconnected, you'll use the supplied adapters to make the connections. Or you can take a look at page 8 of the owner's manual, which shows which harnesses are used for which application. plug in your vehicle power harness, audio harnesses, USB connector, the hazard switch, the antenna adapter, OEM backup camera, if equipped, the GPS antenna adapter. Then with all of the harnesses connected, snap the whole assembly into the dash of the vehicle. Install at least one of the 10mm bolts to secure it while we perform a quick function test. Verify proper operation of volume, seek, presets, mode, and check that the reverse camera shows when the vehicle is shifted into reverse. Once we've confirmed proper operation, we can install the remaining 10mm bolts. Reconnect the harness into the back of the climate control panel and snap it into the dash. Then reinstall the 2 side trim panels. And that completes the installation of our Stinger HEIGH10 into our Toyota 4Runner. We hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching.